Welcome back to NICET Level 1, quiz number 8, where we show you the framework of how you can read the question, pull out the keywords, get to the book, get to the code section, and find your answer. So let's get straight into it. Question number 1, consider a test to be conducted on a fire alarm system. According to NFPA 72, a blank shall be written to clearly establish the scope of testing for the fire alarm system. A, record of completion. B, test plan. C, system inspection report. C, contract. So now we're talking about performance of the fire alarm system. So we got to get inside of NFPA 72. Here in chapter 14, 210.1, a test plan shall be developed to clearly establish the scope of testing for the fire alarm or signaling system. So the answer for that will be B, test plan. Question 2, according to NFPA 72, the system record of completion and testing has supervised station monitoring at section blank of the documentation. So now we got to move over to chapter 7. This is where we talk about the record of completion, documentation, the paperwork you got to submit. Okay, so now as we get to section 6.6 of 782G, we see that the supervising monitoring station, alarm signal, restore, trouble signal, all those signals that's being sent to the central station. So the answer for that will be B, 6.6. That section that's the section that they're referring to. Number 3, when using a meter to measure voltage in a simple series circuit, it is important to ensure the meter is located blank with the circuit. A, at the terminals of the control panel. B, in series. C, parallel. Or D, at the end of line resistor. Now, if you're troubleshooting the fire alarm system, you should already know this question. They should already be giving you this answer. You're not going to be able to find this in the book. If you're testing the circuit with the meter, this is basic troubleshooting. So if you ever troubleshoot the fire alarm system, you take the wires off and you're testing the 2 wires, you're testing it in parallel. So that would be a simulation of you testing it in parallel. So the answer for that would be C. Question number 4, when conducting a test on a fire alarm system, a defect is discovered that cannot be corrected at the conclusion of system testing. This defect should be automated in section of the system record of completion and testing. So now we're still in the performance book, which is NFPA 72, and we just got to look for the answer. The answer is right here, 10, section 10, defects or malfunctions not corrected at conclusion of system inspection and testing or maintenance. So the answer for that would be B, section number 10 inside the system record of completion and testing. You'll find that in figure 782G, section 10. Question number 5, what is the maximum size end conductor that shall be used from a 15 amp circuit breaker to the fire alarm control panel? A, number 12 wire. B, 14. C, 16. Or D, 18. Now, we're not talking about performance. We're talking about wiring, conduit, electrical stuff, right? So we got to go to NFPA 70. So it says here in table 210.24, the summary of branch circuit requirement, 15 amp circuit minimum wire you can use is a 14 conductor. Moving on to question number 6. Which of the following is required to be documented on a notification applying supplementary record of inspection and testing? You have to select 2. A, location identifier. B, strobe candela setting. C, speaker watting setting. Or D, application type. So now we're talking about performance. So we have to go inside NFPA 72. So the answer, so as we look in chapter 7 and the same section 782H, but this is going to be section H. We're looking at the notification appliance, supplementary record of inspection and testing, and the 2 are application type and location identifier. So the answer would be A and D for location and application type. Question number 7, what is the required overcurrent protection for NPLFA circuit using an 18 wire gauge cable? Now, NPLFA is a non-power limited fire alarm cable, low voltage cable, right? So the first one is 20 amps, B is 15 amps, C is 10 amps, D is 7 amps. So we will look for that, not in 72, but it's giving us information about electrical stuff, overcurrent protection. So that's definitely NFPA 70. So you will find that in 760.43, NPLFA circuit overcurrent protection. Overcurrent protection for conductors 14 American wire gauge and larger shall be provided in accordance with the conductor ampacity without applying the ampacity adjustments and correction factors of 31014 to the ampacity calculations. Overcurrent protection shall not exceed 7 amps for an 18 wire conductor and 10 amps for a 16 American wire gauge conductor. So now the exception says where other articles of this code permit or require other overcurrent protection, meaning you just have to check other codes to make sure anything else doesn't supersede what this actual code is actually saying. So the correct answer for that would be what? 7 amps for 18 wire gauge. Question 8. Which of the following is not required to be tested and documented on a primary power section of the system record of completion and testing? So now we know this is talking about performance, documentation, and stuff like that. So it's not inside of this electrical book. It's back inside NFPA, and you know we already was at this chapter, so this is at chapter 7. So we already know we got to go to chapter 7, and we're looking for the system record of completion. So now it's asking us about the primary power. So all we got to do is find the section for the primary power, which is section 551, and it's asking us which is not required. So in the primary power, if it's primary, secondary power will not be required. So battery type. So the answer would be C, battery type would not be required. Question number 9. While testing a fire alarm system, a documentation review reveals that the installation was completed on July 1st, 2010. Since the record indicate that smoke detector sensitivity was tested in 2011 and in 2013, both within the marked sensitivity range. Therefore, the next sensitivity test should be done in the year blank. A, 2014, B, 2015, C, 2016, or D, 2017. So now in chapter 14, 4433, it says, after the second required calibration test, if sensitivity test is indicated that the device has remained within its listed and marked sensitivity range, the length of time between calibration tests shall be permitted to be extended to a maximum of 5 years. So their last test was in 2013 plus 5. The answer would be D, 2018. Question number 10. Smoke detector functional test frequency is blank. A, quarterly, B, semi-annually, C, annually, or D, each and every other year. So now you'll find that answer in table 14432, section 7 for initiating devices, but you got to go to the next page and you'll find it under number 7, smoke detectors. The functional test of a smoke detector is annual. So each and every year you're supposed to test the fire alarm smoke detector. So that will conclude NICET Level 1 quiz number 8, and I'll catch you in number 9. Peace.